The deportation of West Africans to Ghana has exploded into controversy, both abroad and at home. Many are asking, did Ghana secretly collect money for receiving the US deportees? And now, Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has spoken. He is distancing the government from the lawsuit in Washington and insisting no money was taken from the US in exchange for accepting the deportees. Let's hear what the minister had to say.
I shall now discuss the deportation of some West African nationals from the United States of America. During his first media engagement on 10 September 2025, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama confirmed that Ghana has accepted some West African nationals who had been deported from the United States. Providing further elucidation, the President indicated that the US government had approached Ghana with a request to receive some of these individuals, and his administration agreed to do so, provided they were nationals of West African countries. The President disclosed that the first batch of deportees, numbering 14 people, had already arrived in Accra. Among them were nationals of Nigeria and the Gambia, who have been assisted to return to their respective countries. The government of Ghana took the principled and humanitarian decision to accept the limited number of West African nationals deported from the United States under exceptional circumstances, in line with Ghana's long-standing Pan-African ideals and unwavering commitment to regional solidarity. Many of these individuals were being held in detention, which was both psychologically and physically distressing. They were also faced with the risk of being deported to countries that are not safe and do not have the stability and human rights credentials Ghana is famed for. You need to note that President Trump has secured a positive verdict from the US Supreme Court that he could go ahead and remove these nationals and dump them anywhere. As a nation that upholds the dignity and rights of all people, particularly those of African descent, Ghana's action was guided solely by our moral responsibility, our legal obligations under the 1992 Constitution and ECOWAS protocols, our distinguished Pan-African track record, and historic and legendary leadership in championing the rights of all Africans. Let me emphasize that under this understanding with the United States, Ghana must first independently vet the background of those the US intends to deport, to first satisfy ourselves that they do not pose any threat to the security of our country and that they cannot harm our citizens. We have put in place strict safeguards to ensure that convicted, hardened criminals cannot be brought into our country under this understanding. The Mahama administration will never compromise the safety and well-being of Ghanaians. This understanding with the US has been thoroughly discussed by Cabinet and has also received the Attorney General's advice. By established convention, MOUs are not sent to Parliament for ratification. I have inherited hundreds of MOUs from the previous administration, which were not sent to Parliament for ratification. May I assure the nation that if this initial understanding is elevated into a full-blown agreement, we shall not hesitate to comply with Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution by proceeding to Parliament for ratification. President Mahama carried out full disclosure at his media encounter because he is a staunch believer in the principles of transparency and accountability. In addition, he has absolutely nothing to hide on this matter. It is important to stress and to state unequivocally that Ghana has not received and does not seek any financial compensation or material benefit in relation to this understanding. Our decision is grounded purely on humanitarian principle and Pan-African solidarity, to offer temporary refuge where needed, to prevent further human suffering, and to maintain our credibility as a responsible regional actor. Ghana's decision must be understood as an act of Pan-African empathy it is not transactional. Like Rwanda, Eswatini, Uganda, South Sudan, who are welcoming fellow Africans, we are standing up for our brothers and sisters in distress. And this should not be misconstrued as an endorsement of the immigration policies of the Trump administration. It is worth emphasizing that since the days of our forebears, Ghana has hosted freedom fighters, welcomed all Africans in the diaspora, offered them safe haven, resources, citizenship, and even our passports. That is why we are seen as the Mecca of Pan-Africanism. We shall not depart from that inspiring track record.
So that is the government's position. Ghana only received the deportees as fellow West Africans, not because of any financial deal. But the controversy is far from settled. Ghanaians continue to ask, why accept deportees who are not Ghanaian citizens? Why do the government move so quickly to support US requests, whilst ordinary Ghanaians abroad often receive little or no help when they face mistreatment? At the heart of this issue lies one question: is Ghana protecting its sovereignty or simply doing Washington's bidding? What's your take? Should Ghana completely step away from this deportation deal, or this is just part of international cooperation? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. And that is all for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Sheriff Haruna. Have a joyful life and see you in the next one. Macrao.